Alright, welcome back guys, JC here, and this is the Strix Ochi 650 FPV camera. A few of you have already watched this video that I posted yesterday, but I recorded that at like 4 in the morning. I watched it again today and realized that some of the stuff I was saying just didn't make sense, so I'm redoing it. Up first, let me show you some flight footage so you can get an idea of how this camera performs, and I'll talk about the specs. What you see here is the camera right out the box. It does have an OSD menu where you can use the cable to make your video setting changes, but I have not adjusted anything. And it's worth mentioning that ReadyMadeRC actually pre-configures this for you before they even ship it to you. So it's already good to go right out the box. You really don't have to adjust anything. This is a 650 TVL camera, hence the name Strix 650 FPV Cam. It has a 2.3mm lens in NTSC. It accepts 5 to 15 volts and has a metal housing. I chose to show this video footage to you on purpose because with the sun setting, going from those light to dark transitions, a lot of cameras can't handle it that well, and the picture just looks god-awful. But this camera handles the transitions extremely well. I'm very impressed. I've used a Runcam Swift in the past that used to be my favorite camera, and I've even tried the Runcam Swift 2. I have a review coming up on that real soon, but I would say those are really good cameras, and they do make that lighting transition very well. Just my personal opinion, I think the Foxgear HS1177 does a little bit better than the Runcam, and this does a little bit better than both of them. When you purchase this, what does it come with? You get the protective lens cover, the 4-pin JST connector with 3-wire harness. By the way, this does come with the really nice silicone wires, the good stuff. You get the camera mount if you do use this style camera mount on your frame, the 4 bolts you need to mount the camera into the camera mount, and an additional locking ring. As far as what I like and don't like about the camera, I really like that it has the metal housing. It weighs a little bit more. I mean, we're only talking grams compared to a plastic camera, but I have never broken a camera with a metal housing. Matter of fact, I still have like some really old school ones that still work perfectly fine. I just don't use them anymore because they're outdated. It has a locking screw on the side instead of using the locking ring. I like that they give you the option of either or. If any of you have ever refocused a camera lens or replaced the lens and then refocused it, you would know sometimes it does get annoying trying to tighten down that locking ring, and then it moves your camera lens and then it's not in focus anymore. Then you gotta try again 2 or 3 more times. Or with this, you can get the focus perfect and then tighten down the screw, and it's good to go on the first try. And the thing that I like the most about it is, if you've been following the channel, you know that the Strix AWK210 frame is my new most favorite of all time. And even before this, I was using the ReadyMadeRC Hellbender. And both of these frames use this style camera mount. And these camera mounts are great, and I've used many different cameras. But I've always tried to find a camera that actually fits perfect. The thing is with these, if you've never used one before, there's a like a set screw on the bottom. You place your camera lens through and then tighten down the screw, and it screws into the lens threads. That's why on my AWK210 build, when I did use a Runcam Swift, I mentioned that I take some of these extra locking rings and I put 2 or 3 extra on top of the lens, so that way I'm screwing the screw into that locking ring instead of the threads. And even then, the camera is still kind of like, there's a gap right here, and I mean, it fits well, it's not perfect. So I've been on the hunt for something that's perfect. I would imagine because this is a Strix camera, and this is a Strix style camera mount, it's made just for this mount. Not only does it fit perfect, with no gaps, no nothing, but because it has the metal case, the set screw is being screwed into the metal case. With the plastic housing cameras, and sometimes in crashes the plastic does bend. It doesn't break, it just bends, and then sometimes your camera gets cocked at an angle and then you have to fix it. It gets kind of annoying, but with this, I mean, you could tell how dirty it was. I've been wrecking this thing all weekend and the camera hasn't moved any, like none whatsoever. As far as well, I can't say it's things that I don't like because both of these things don't bother me whatsoever. I'm just letting you guys know and be aware of this. I'm just doing a review. Think of me as a news reporter. I give you the info, you decide. It uses the 4-pin JST connector. You got voltage, ground, video, and menu. This is because you can access the camera's OSD menu to make your video setting changes using a cable like this. And this cable does not come with the camera, but ReadyMadeRC does sell this for a couple bucks. Or if you've ever used a Foxeer style camera, then you probably already have one because they're exactly the same. But you basically plug this end into your camera, and then on this end you have the RCA cable here, and then you have a barrel plug connector here. I would always use like my Tyrannus charger and plug that in. That will power everything, and then take my like another RCA cable, plug it into here, and then the other end into my TV. I just don't like doing that because I like making my video setting changes outside because the lighting is different. So I actually want to set this up for outside in that lighting, and that's why I have modified this with just a connector, the same connector my video transmitter uses, and then I plug in a 3 to 4S LiPo, and then it just works. So this makes it mobile. So that's why I don't count that as something I don't like, because that's an easy fix. And I'm just going to add to that, like I said before, ReadyMadeRC's team pilots have actually chose what they thought was the best settings for this camera, and they actually put the settings on the camera for you before they even ship it to you. So realistically, you really don't even need that OSD cable, and you really don't need to make any changes to it, because like I just showed you, I mean, the camera right out the box works great. And honestly, I went into the OSD to see if I can make it better, and I couldn't. So I just reverted back to the way it was that the ReadyMadeRC Team Pilot set it to. The other thing you need to know is ReadyMadeRC actually states that this is not compatible with the Minim OSD Micro on-screen display. And this made me wonder if it just applied to that one or all. What I've found is on the, I think it's called the Brain RE1 or something like that, that flight controller with the built-in OSD, it does work just fine on that flight controller. There's someone that's actually tested it out and it works great. But on the Omnibus flight controllers, I mean, technically, I guess it's not supposed to work, but I did find a workaround. The thing is, instead of getting a solid white text, you're going to get a transparent text. In the flight footage you just saw, I actually had an on-screen display up and going, and I could see it, but for some reason, the Fat Shark goggles did not record it. That's something I should go ahead and mention, just for future reference. If you, and it's not just this camera review, if you watch any other camera review, not just on my channel, but any other channel, you have to keep in mind that the video quality is actually much better in person, because by the time the Fat Shark goggle, the DVR sucks. I already got questions about the flickering and flashing that I get. I don't actually see nearly as much flickering as you guys do. And the quality, like I said, is much better. But by the time the DVR records it, you lose a little bit of quality, and then by the time you upload it to YouTube, YouTube makes you lose a little bit more quality. So you got two different things messing with, you know, what I see to what you guys see. Back to what I was saying, I could see an on-screen display. It's just transparent. I will actually like put something on your screen so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about, the difference between the solid white and the transparent white. If you think that might bother you, then you may not want to look into this camera. But like I said, I haven't tested all on-screen displays. I still have to test the ones that are built into the PDB. I still have to test Furious FPV Piggyback OSD and a few others. So the way I wired it to make it work, I will also flash that on your screen. Instead of putting my camera video wire into the camera in on the on-screen display and the video transmitter video wire on the camera out, or the video out, I actually just took both wires, soldered them together, and then laid both wires across both pins. And that is what gives me my transparent OSD. And that's going to wrap up this review. What are my overall thoughts? I would say that I really like it. There's really nothing to dislike. I mean, like I said, the transparent text on the OSD, that's really no big deal for me at all. I love the metal case because I know I will never break this. And most importantly, the video quality is awesome, and this fits the AWK210 and Hellbender frames perfect. So now I can stop searching. My search is over. I love this camera. I'm going to buy like 4 more to go on all my other AWK210 and Hellbender frames. And that is that. So if you have any questions, leave it for me in the comment box. Thanks for watching, and I will see you again soon.